Let's get back to politics, shall we? My attention was diverted on yesterday for good reason, but we back. And we are back with Ted Cruz.
Donald Trump went incredibly personal when it came to you. He suggested your father may have been involved in Kennedy's assassination, and he called your wife Heidi ugly.
Who, by the way, is very pretty.
This is what you said. Let me get through the question. This is what you said about him back in 2016 during the campaign. Let's take a look.
I'm going to tell you what I really think of Donald Trump. This man is a pathological liar. He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth. The man is utterly amoral. Morality does not exist for him.
So I have to ask you, because, I'm married to a Cuban man.
Mm-hmm.
I frankly don't know how you get over your wife being called ugly. I don't know how you get over those kind of calumnies against your father. But you obviously have gotten over it. Today you sing a very different tune. So tell us, were you lying then or are you lying now?
Yeah, that's a loaded question there.
Mm-hmm. Look, I think a lot of people have the same question. It's a very different Ted Cruz that we're seeing. We are. I mean, would you not agree that that's very different Ted Cruz than today's Ted Cruz?
What I would say is this. In 2016, we had a primary where Donald Trump and I beat the living crap out of each other. I'll tell you, Heidi laughed when he said that. My father laughed. By the way, my dad didn't just kill Kennedy. He's got Jimmy Hoffa buried in the backyard. It was idiotic. And we went after each other, and at the end of the day, he won. And I had a decision to make in November of 2016. He'd been elected president. I got a responsibility to represent 30 million Texans. I could have decided my feelings are hurt. I'm going to take the ball and go home and not do my job. But if I was prepared to do that, I better be prepared to resign from my job because I have a responsibility. So what I did is I went and said, listen, we have an opportunity to make a difference for this country, and I want to roll up my sleeves and lead the fight to actually deliver on promises. We were talking a minute ago about the incredible booming economy. We saw 7 million people get off of food stamps. We saw poverty dropping. We saw African-American poverty dropping. We saw Hispanic poverty dropping. Those are real results that make a real difference, and I'm proud of that record. And why did I choose to work with him, even though I was pissed off at what he said? Because I had a job to do.
Anna asked a specific question. Were you lying then, or are you lying now? I've got the answer. He's lying now. I don't know a woman alive that would think it's funny to be called ugly by a man that's running for president of the United States. And to laugh at being called ugly by a man with millions of followers who's running for president of the United States, to sit and laugh with a man that I call my husband. That booming economy that he's speaking of, that booming economy was as a result of President Obama's presidency. The economy that we're dealing with now is as a result of President Trump's presidency. He says he had a job to do. He had a job to do when he fled Texas and left people to freeze to death during that winter storm. Remember, he packed his family up and they headed for warm weathers over in Cancun. They were going to be sipping Mai Tais and pina coladas on the beach while his constituents were literally freezing to death in Texas. Yeah, Ted Cruz is a liar.